Hi there, it's Lisa, your virtual friend here to help to plan your wedding. Today, we are diving deep into the common mistakes that can turn your dream wedding into a nightmare. We all want that picture-perfect celebration, right? But in the pursuit of perfection, many encounter certain problems, leading to feelings of frustration. So stick around to the end of this video to ensure your special day is everything you've ever imagined, minus the stress and drama. Let's make sure your wedding, as well as your wedding planning journey, is unforgettable and joyful. Most brides, upon receiving a proposal, are so excited that they start wedding preparations immediately, without thinking through the main steps. However, wedding planning should begin with understanding what you really want and how much you are ready to pay for it. Choosing a wedding dress or a venue before determining an approximate budget is a surefire way to disappoint yourself right at the start of the preparations. Perhaps because of the dress, you may later have to cut the guest list in half or forget about the honeymoon. The wedding budget is the foundation of the upcoming celebration, defining its format and style. Therefore, one of the first steps in wedding preparation should include setting the budget. Continuing on the topic of the budget, I want to note that couples often exceed their initial estimates. The dream dress turned out to be more expensive than initially thought, or the guest list ended up being longer. If you find that you have underestimated some expenses, don't panic. Instead, discuss constructive ways to solve the problems together. It might not be too late to return an overly expensive purchase to the store, or you may have the opportunity to save on something else that is less important. It's impossible to keep all the information about the upcoming celebration in your head. So, entrust all plans, ideas, and calculations to your planner. Make detailed task lists for each month of the preparation. Keep all contractor phone numbers in one place. Note unresolved issues. All this will help you to be sure that you won't miss anything important, thus reducing reasons for anxiety and worry. Dedicate 1 or 2 evenings a week to discussing all wedding matters. You know, when you can focus on calculations, calling contractors, and planning. But of course, don't forget to take breaks from preparations. Set aside a few hours to forget all problems and urgent matters and spend time just the two of you. Many brides dreaming of a unique and unforgettable wedding refuse the services of a planner. Make decorations by hand after work, attend floristry and calligraphy courses, bake treats for the candy bar the night before the wedding, and on the day of the celebration, they are simply exhausted. Don't repeat their mistakes. Choose what you truly enjoy doing and can find time for without sacrificing work, personal life, and sleep, and delegate everything else to professionals. Remember, it's not the centerpieces or the 3-tiered cake that make your wedding beautiful, but the warm atmosphere and your genuine feelings. A few weeks before the wedding, did you suddenly realize that a black and white theme is boring and peonies are too common? This might just be natural pre-wedding jitters, and all you need right now is to calm down. Go for a massage, talk to your best friend, have a romantic dinner with your fiancé, and you will feel the anxiety fade away. But if you are sure the theme needs to be changed, think about how to do it with minimal financial and time costs. For example, don't change the entire color scheme, just add a few bright accents. Florals can always be refreshed with greenery, and your dress can look new with a belt, veil, or unique accessories. If you are having a wedding without children, think about providing childcare options. This consideration will make it easier for guests with children to attend and enjoy the celebration, without worrying about finding a babysitter or leaving early. When choosing a wedding venue, be sure to consider the planned number of guests. No matter how luxurious and elegant the restaurant is, if the number of guests exceeds the maximum capacity, it will affect the banquet, entertainment, and overall impression of the celebration. Ask the venue manager how many guests it can accommodate. Then subtract 10% from that number, and this will be the ideal number of guests. A lack of parking spaces is another common problem at weddings, especially when the celebration is in the city center. Often the bride and groom don't think about the availability of parking near the venue, but it may be needed not only for guests with personal vehicles, but also for the wedding bus or limousine driver. So here's a few points that couples usually don't consider: the exact number of guests with personal vehicles, the number of parking spaces, the cost of paid parking, whether the restaurant offers free parking on the wedding day. Note that normally, according to wedding etiquette, parking costs are covered by the bride and groom. If there is no parking near the venue, find a parking lot no further than 500 meters away and inform the guests in advance. The most popular time for weddings is from Friday to Sunday. But sometimes couples organize their celebration in the middle of the week, for reasons ranging from restaurant discounts on weekdays to the only available date at the registry officer or a favorable day for a church wedding. However, not all guests may appreciate this choice. This applies to both out-of-town guests and those who will have to take time off work in the middle of the week. If a small-scale wedding allows for coordinating the wedding time with each guest individually, a large celebration is better held on weekends. Also, be mindful of holiday dates. For example, guests may find it inconvenient to attend your wedding during New Year's or Christmas holidays. The ceremony is one of the most important elements of the wedding, so its photos should be top-notch. Many couples plan the ceremony for when the sun is at its peak, but photographers recommend holding it closer to the evening before sunset. The soft sunlight of the golden hour makes the photos truly magical. Holding the ceremony in different languages can prolong the event and make it tedious for guests. Instead, use headsets for translations, provide printed translated versions of the ceremony, or use screens with subtitles. This way, everyone can follow along without being bored or left out. During the ceremony, make sure not to turn your back towards the guests. This common mistake can make guests feel disconnected. Instead, arrange the ceremony so that everyone can see your faces, allowing them to feel more involved and connected to your special moment. Many couples still think that wedding videos are something they can save on. However, remember that it's the video that can transport you back to that wonderful day and bring back those happy emotions years later. Trust me, you'll never regret hiring a videographer for your celebration. Long waits for the newlyweds, a prolonged welcome reception, an hour-long ceremony, and a final fireworks show planned for after midnight. A well-structured timeline can help avoid these issues. Let your wedding be remembered for its vibrant, engaging program, not for long waits and fatigue. Of course, you want your friends and family to have a great time. But remember that the main characters of the celebration are the bride and groom. Constantly worrying about what guests will think is a surefire way to ruin your mood during the entire preparation process and on the wedding day itself. Good food, good music, and a fun atmosphere are all guests need at a wedding. Everything else, like flowers, decorations, style, and venue, should be what you love. I often see a seating plan like this: a table for bride and groom, a table for parents, and the other one for friends, colleagues, and the singles table. This type of seating was once popular, but few liked it. Instead of grouping people by with a partner or without a partner, it's better to seat guests by interests and age. Ideally, each guest should sit next to someone they know and can talk to. For this reason, avoid free seating and consider a kids' table if you have young guests. Statistics show that about 10% of invitees typically cannot attend a wedding. But each case is unique, so if your venue can only hold 200 guests, don't send invitations to 240 people hoping that 40 will decline. Similarly, don't be upset if you get more than 10% declines. The invitees would likely love to be at your wedding, but are hindered by important reasons. Everyone likes to feel remembered and appreciated. Even after the celebration is over, it's important to maintain contact with your guests. Don't wait for them to ask about professional photos and videos from the wedding. Instead, prepare thank you cards. They can be digital, with all the necessary information in advance. If for some reason you didn't prepare gifts for the guests from the bride and groom, you could still send them after the wedding. Minor decor mishaps only noticeable to you, the wrong shade of roses, or a rebellious look of hair that won't stay in place. These small annoyances can seriously dampen your mood on the big day. Don't let negative emotions take over. Instead, take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, will this matter to me in a year? Or in 5 years? The answer will likely be no, so you can let go of this issue now and enjoy the celebration. And that brings us to the end. I hope this video was helpful and that you can avoid these mistakes. Share in the comments what was new for you, or if you have your own experience to share on this topic. I'd love to hear from you. For now, goodbye and see you in the next video. Bye bye.